In this week's episode, we're going to discuss how all of your assets are not created equally. Well, what do I mean? Well, there's three main categories of assets: qualified, non-qualified, and Roth. So what do those three things mean? What do they mean to you? What do they mean to your beneficiaries? What do they mean when you're getting income? All of those things. Let's look at the difference in all three of those categories and what it means for you and your entire retirement. Let's roll.
Welcome to the Safe Money Retirement Show with your host, certified financial fiduciary, Tim Wood. Tim is a retirement and income planning expert, best-selling author of Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success, member of the exclusive Ed Slott Master Elite IRA Advisor Group, and founder of SafeMoneyRetirement.com. Tim uses an education-first approach with clients nationwide to ensure they understand their choices in planning their own safe money retirement. Tim focuses on wealth management, retirement income, tax and long-term care planning, and asset protection and growth strategies. And now, from the Safe Money Retirement Studio in Johnson City, Tennessee, your host, Tim Wood.
You may have heard me talk about this before, and many of you guys that are my listeners already know this, but there are so many of my new clients that don't understand the difference in qualification of money between just qualified pre-tax, qualified after tax, which is Roth, and non-qualified. So what do all three of those things mean, and what do they really mean for you, and what do they mean for your beneficiaries? Well, that's what we're going to dig into today and really discuss all three of them in depth and what they mean and how they work with different plans. That's what we're going to get into today. But first, if you don't already have a copy of my book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success, what are you waiting for? We will send you a copy absolutely free with no charge and no obligation so you can start planning your own retirement by knowing what's available out there. Just give us a call. It's toll free from anywhere in the United States, 1-800-913-SAFE. That's 800-913-7233, or just log on to our website at safemoneyretirement.com and request your free copy right now. So why are all assets not created equally? Well, let's just start with one of the categories that I spoke about. Let's talk about qualified pre-tax, which this is going to be most of your retirement plans, right? We're talking 401ks, we're talking 403bs, TSPs, traditional IRAs, most plans out there, 457s, I could keep naming, there's a bunch of different plans. If it's pre-tax qualified, which qualified means it's in a qualified retirement plan, if it's pre-tax qualified, that means as soon as you start taking money out, you have to pay taxes on the entire amount. So whether you're taking the money out or a beneficiary is taking the money out at some point in the future, 100% of that is going to be taxable. You need to know that. If you put it into an income plan and it's going to start paying you an income, great. 100% of that income is going to be taxable. So that's what a qualified taxable plan looks like. Now, why is it not created equally? And why do some people say, well, what's your tax bracket? So let's just say you're at the 24% tax bracket, but you've got $1 million retirement plan. Okay. Well, people say, well, I've got $1 million retirement plan. I'm fine. Is that pre-tax? Yeah. Then you don't have $1 million retirement plan. What do you mean I don't have $1 million? Yeah, I do. There it is right there. Because the government owns 24% of that. You don't have $1 million retirement plan. Your retirement plan is closer to $750,000. Still great, but you need to have your perspective right. You need to understand that if you have all of your stuff still in pre-tax qualified plans, then 100% of everything that's taken out of it is going to be taxable. Now, let's talk real quick about beneficiaries. If your spouse is the beneficiary, they're still going to have to pay taxes when they take the money out. Plus, on that kind of a plan, you have to do RMDs. You don't have a choice. You have to do RMDs and start taking it out based on your age, either 72, 73, or 75. You have to start taking it out. So there's that as well. But what I'm talking about as far as beneficiaries, if it's not your spouse, if it goes to kid, grandkid, pretty much anywhere else, they're going to have to pay the taxes as well. And they're going to have to pay the taxes within 10 years. Now, that's not that big of a deal, but let's look at one real quick situation. Let's go back to that guy with $1 million. Okay, well, if he were to say he had one kid and he gave that whole kid that $1 million and he passed, okay, well, if his child was only used to making $20, $30, $40,000 a year, now he's got $1 million he's got to have liquidated within 10 years. Now, unfortunately, most younger people don't think, and they'll liquidate the whole thing and pay the highest tax bracket right now. If they were smart, they'd do $100,000 a year for 10 years because then it's only going to kick them up. But think about what it's going to kick them up to. They could be at the very low tax bracket now, and having that in there, it could bump them up a good 10 points up to 22 or 24%. That goes all the way back to $1. You need to think about these things, but that's why all retirement plans aren't created equally, because if you are in a pre-tax plan, then all of the money that you think is in there isn't in there. And you need to really have a realistic understanding of what is in there. All right, let's look at the second qualification. Second qualification is still technically qualified, but it's a Roth plan. What is a Roth plan? I've done full episodes on Roths. Go back and listen to that if you want a more in-depth understanding. But basically, a Roth plan is a pre-tax plan, like with a qualified plan, but then you paid the taxes. You've already paid the taxes, but it had to be in a qualified plan first, or you can contribute to it, but the contribution amounts are very small. But either way, it's money that you've already paid taxes on. Now, here is what is perfect and golden about Roth plans. As long as the plan's been open for at least 5 years, the principal, which of course the money you've already paid taxes on, that's not taxable, but also any growth it ever has, ever. So all the money you've got into a Roth plan, that's gold. I mean, when I see people and they've got nice big Roth accounts, I mean, it makes me smile, which makes them smile. I mean, it's a perfect situation. It really is, because you've already paid the taxes. You've got whatever it is, it's growing. We can take that Roth and put it into a plan where now you don't have to worry about any losses. You're still going to have good growth. You've got no taxes, and whatever it grows to is all tax-free. Or we can put it into an income plan, and whenever you turn the income plan on, tax-free because it's coming from a Roth. So Roths are absolutely wonderful. There's also an episode you can find that talks about how you can convert your qualified plans into Roth. Here's the real quick explanation. It's what's called a backdoor Roth. Some of y'all have heard about that. I don't think the government's ever going to get rid of it because they want their tax money sooner rather than later, so I doubt it's ever going anywhere. What it allows you to do is take a pre-tax qualified plan and convert as much as you want, which means, yeah, you get hit with all the taxes right now. You're going to have to pay all those taxes right now whenever you do it. But now it's in a Roth plan. Now you have to wait 5 years to take any of the gains out of that Roth plan for it not to be taxable. But again, we're thinking and looking long-term for retirement. Roths are fantastic. They are my favorite type of retirement plan. If you can't tell, they're brilliant. They're very great. The other type is non-qualified. Now this is regular money that you would have in a checking account, savings, money market, CDs, anything that's after tax that you went ahead. It could be in a brokerage. Anything that's after tax that you've got invested somewhere or put somewhere, that is a non-qualified plan. Now, any of your non-qualified plans, it's a little more in-depth, but basically, you're never going to have to pay tax on the principal. You're never going to have to pay tax on the amount you originally put in. But any growth above that, you will have to pay taxes on that when you take the money out. So that's why that plan isn't even as much as you think it is. It's not how everything isn't created equal. So to sum this up real quick, qualified, it's all taxable. So whatever your tax rate is when you start pulling that money out, subtract that because that's the government's portion. It's not the same. Non-qualified is not right behind it, but it's behind it in the category, in the ranking, because you don't have to pay taxes on the initial part that you already put in, but you do have to pay taxes on the gains. Roths are golden because you don't have to pay taxes on the gains. You've already paid taxes on it. It's done. That is why all assets are not created equal, and you need to know what yours are, and you need to make a plan for how you're going to implement them in your retirement.
Do you currently own an annuity? Do you understand what it does, how it works, and if it's suitable for your retirement plan? Some annuities have high fees that their benefits might not justify. Some annuities are exposed to significant market risk. Worse yet, if an annuity is sold without proper planning, it can cause unintended consequences for your retirement and a massive tax burden for those you leave behind. Having the right type of annuity for your specific situation is vitally important. So if you own an annuity, call us to learn more about how it works and if it's right for you. And if it's not, what your options really are. Our toll-free number is 800-913-SAFE. That's 800-913-7233. You can schedule a free consultation with Tim to review the features and benefits of any annuities or any other plans you currently have without any obligation. Call us right now to make sure your current plan is the best plan at 800-913-SAFE. That's 800-913-7233.
In today's case file, we are going to look at a very unique situation, Judah and Sarah. Now, when they came in, they had a very specific and very unique need that we were able to figure out how to fix. So here's what they had. Judah had a pension from when he worked when he was actually quite young. He had worked at a certain place for about 35 years, had contributed to a pension, and now that he was at retirement age, he was going to get a very nice pension check from that. Really nice, actually, because it had grown all those years. But he had elected for it just to come to him, and when he passed, nothing to go to his spouse. That's what they had decided that they wanted to turn it on as when they had turned it on. So it was on. They were getting plenty of income. That wasn't a problem. The challenge was if something were to happen to Judah, if something were to happen to him and he were gone, then obviously that all of that pension plan would go away. That pension money, poof, it's gone. Yes, you're making more because it's just on you, but if you don't do it as protecting your spouse, either 50 or 75 or 100%, some have 25%, they've all got different options. If you don't protect your spouse, once you're gone, poof, it's gone. Now, if you made more money than your spouse will get your Social Security, but also your spouses will then drop off. So there's a huge discrepancy. So that was the issue that they had. He did not need any money, and as long as he was breathing, they were good. They had plenty. We're talking six figures plenty. They had plenty of money, but it was going to go way down as soon as he passed. So we needed to custom build a plan that we could fund now, no chance of losses, had guaranteed roll-up rates, so it continued, the income amount would continue to grow on a guaranteed basis, and it was just for her. So essentially we funded the plan, got it just for her. If she never uses it, let's say she winds up going first and she never uses it, it will all go to him. If they both go at the same time, it will all go to a beneficiary. So there's nothing lost there. If he does pass first, which he was a little bit older than her and in a little bit worse health than her, so the chances are, pretty good. If he does go first, this now gives her an income plan that she can turn on at any time in the future. As soon as he passes, she can contact my office, we'll turn it on, and within 30 to 60 days, now she's got money coming in from this. Social Security will flop around, so she'll have the bigger Social Security coming from them. It's going to protect her. They both left feeling so much better, especially Judah. He was really concerned that, if something happened and he dropped dead tomorrow, how is she going to live the next 30, 40 years? Because like I said, their income would go from pretty nice six figures down to pretty meager five figures. So that's what we did for them. Got her into a plan. She can turn it on whenever she wants, if she ever needs to. And if she doesn't, it goes to a beneficiary. They walked out as happy as they could be. Now, how can this relate to you? Maybe you're in a similar situation. Maybe you don't need income for yourself, but maybe you do for a partner. Maybe you're thinking about what you're going to do with that pension plan that you've got coming up. Well, we need to sit down and look. We need to decide. Does it make sense to do one with a survivor benefit? Does it make sense to do one just with you and do something else for the survivor? Does it make sense to totally take it out of that pension and put it with a different plan that pays you more and has all kinds of benefits? That's why you need to sit down with someone that can show you all of your options. But if you're getting close to retirement and one person in the family has made significantly more, then you need to have a plan for what's going to happen if that person goes first, especially if there's a pension involved or some sort of an income plan. Doesn't necessarily have to be a pension. It could be an income annuity. Doesn't matter, because income annuities can be set up on a single life. So that could be a situation to where, okay, I know I'm set because I've got all this Social Security and I've got this income coming to me from this income annuity, or which is nothing more than a pension. Then what happens when I go? Well, if it's set up as a single life, it's gone. Poof. Now, there are some provisions depending on how it was set up. There may be a lump sum that could go, or it could be a set period of time it pays. There's a bunch of different things. That's not the point. The point is, you need to make sure you've got a plan for all eventualities. If the person that has the lower income goes first, okay, what happens? Person that had the higher income goes first, okay, what happens? Make a plan. Plan for it. So you know what's going to happen no matter what happens. If you both go together, then hallelujah, that's, not that that's a great thing, but that's a great thing in my opinion, sort of. That's and then all of it would go to your beneficiaries. But again, that's something else to think about. If you've got a pension, pensions don't go. There's nothing left in the pension to go. When you die, and even if you've got it set to where you and a spouse are getting it, when y'all are both gone, even if there's money left in that pension that they didn't pay you enough, poof, it's gone. If it's in one of those guaranteed income annuities, whatever's left in the balance can go as a benefit. So again, it's just a matter of sitting down with someone that can show you all of your options and really help you make a plan for your own safe money retirement. Well, I'm about out of time, and I would like to thank you for listening to the Safe Money Retirement Show. If you're serious about your financial future, give me a call, and together we'll get your retirement savings on the fast track to accumulate while reducing exposure to market loss. Thanks for listening, and until next time at the same time, I'm Tim Wood reminding you to stay safe so you can step into a secure future.
You've been listening to the Safe Money Retirement Show with your host, Tim Wood. Find out how to contractually guarantee that your income in retirement is guaranteed lifetime income and not if-come. Avoid any future market losses, plan for the potential of long-term care, and make wise planning choices so you can have the retirement that you deserve. Call us now for your free copy of Tim's best-selling book, Safe Money Retirement, Your Game Plan for Success. Our toll-free number is 800-913-SAFE. That's 800-913-7233. Or log on to our site at safemoneyretirement.com for more information or to request your free book. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you online at safemoneyretirement.com. The preceding information does not represent tax, legal, or investment advice. Obviously, by contacting us now, you are only taking the first step toward protecting your retirement. No information presented today should be acted upon without meeting with a qualified licensed insurance professional. It's important that you read all insurance contract disclosures carefully before making a purchase decision. Interest and other guarantees in annuity contracts are subject to the claims-paying ability of the insurance carrier that issued the contract. The tax consequences of annuity income should be considered with the help of a licensed tax professional. Rates and returns mentioned on this program may vary based on state availability and are subject to change without notice.